Hi, my name is Renee and welcome to Pawsitive Solutions, where we find positive solutions to your dog's most common behavioural issues. Join me here at the Dog House, where I'll meet and speak with Julia from Southern Cross Animal Stars regarding how to resolve separation anxiety. All right, let's go in. Hey Manny, great to see you.
Hi Renee.
So great to be back.
Good to see you again.
Thank you, you too. Can I just grab 2 Doggachinos, please?
2 Doggachinos, no worries. I'll get them ready for you.
Cheers. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Here we have Julia from Southern Cross Animal Stars joining us again. Julia, thanks for coming back.
Thanks so much for having me.
No worries, so good to see you again. Julia, tell us about your company once again. Give us a little bit more info.
So Southern Cross Animal Stars is primarily a business designed to help people with their pets at home, turning them into being the pet that is a star. I love incorporating tricks into all of my classes. I do run a tricks class, I do seminars for a lot of local dog clubs as well, where we can incorporate tricks and fun back into our training. But I definitely find that when we're talking about obedience, we tend to sink. When we talk about tricks, we become enlightened with a big smile on our face, on the dog's faces, and also everyone that watches as well. So if we can incorporate that fun factor into our everyday training, it makes our life with our canine friends so much more enjoyable all around.
It does, and it makes learning a lot easier, I'd say, as well.
Indeed.
So something that concerns me, and there's something that I've seen and something I'd love to talk about, is separation anxiety. Tell us, what is separation anxiety?
Separation anxiety is where your dog is not comfortable to be away from you, so they haven't learnt to develop that independence away from their owner or from other dogs that they may be living with as well. A lot of people will call me and say my dog has severe separation anxiety, and I'll go out to their house and assess the whole situation and find that the dog's not actually anxious, it's probably more bored. So they're doing what we call separation related behaviours.
So when it is different.
It is different. So when they're separated from their owners, the dogs are doing behaviours that maybe are attention seeking behaviours or just typical boredom behaviours. Things like the digging, the chewing along the outdoor furniture, whining, popping cushions, that sort of thing. You know, they're typical things where, come back to me, I'm really bored, you haven't given me enough to do, I'm going to make it up myself.
Yeah.
And unfortunately what dogs tend to make up themselves, it's fun for the dog to do, but it's things that we don't like. But when we talk about true separation anxiety, we're putting it into that category. This is a problem now for the dog, where they're not comfortable at all to be left by themselves. And they'll drool all day long, and you know, their eyes are looking like they're going to pop out of their head because they're not quite sure of what's actually going to happen.
That's the real, genuine anxiety.
And we don't see that as often as you think. So people will self-diagnose, my dog's got separation anxiety, but it's more boredom related, and I want to be with you kind of related. This true separation anxiety is much rarer, but not a good place for your dog's mind.
Okay, so that's the real side of things, and then I guess the other side is more just problematic behaviour. You know, they miss you, they're a bit bored. So looking at both of those scenarios, you know, how do we go to resolve that?
For separation related behaviours, it's about filling their brain with busy stuff.
Okay.
Keep them busy. When you are home with them, really good one-on-one time. Let's do some little bit of training. While you're watching TV in the ad break, grab some treats and do some training. I call it advert training. It's the best time. It's short and sweet, 2 minutes. When you're on a walk, don't just go for the walk. Stop and take things in. Stop and do some training. Taking your dogs on new adventures, new places, new routes when you go for your walk. Don't just do the same track every time. Go the other way or go down some different streets.
New smells, new
Indeed.
sights.
When you leave them at home, keep them entertained. If we can keep a dog active, entertained and engaged for about 30 minutes after we leave, The rest of the day, they're quite happy to just zonk out and snooze the day away.
Okay.
And that can be things like providing them with these wonderful Kong toys, so food dispensing toys. So we can fill this up with either dry food. A lot of people smear peanut butter in there. I find after a few days my dogs are bored of the peanut butter. Stuffing their raw food in. A lot of us now are feeding a raw diet to our dogs. Put it in there and freeze it overnight so that when they pull it out, it's a nice icy pop. It's going to last a lot longer than just the raw food itself. And it'll that whole licking, the chewing, the stimulating, it releases all sorts of wonderful chemicals in the dog's brain that has a calming effect. They're then satisfied with activity for a good 30 minutes that they are comfortable for the rest of the day. And there's lots of different varieties of these that are on the market. I've collected a whole box of these. Any good pet shop outlet will have them. You know, there's ones that, these little crosses, I love this one.
So these will keep them entertained for how long?
Depends on how smart the dog is.
Okay.
And also the size of the treats. So I will always, in my Kongs, which ones are my Kongs? So this one here, your typical style Kong, if you squeeze the hole that way, you can slide a treat in that fits across and it won't fall out when you release it.
Right.
So, but I'll put easy treats in so they get a few wins. They go, I've got this. I can get a few.
Really smart.
Then some medium treats that'll fall out with a little bit of work, and then I've got one that's usually stuck in there. And that one that's stuck in there, if I could get it in there, they will be able to get it out, but it'll take them longer.
Right.
And it's fun.
And so by the time you leave and they've spent 30, maybe 40, 50 minutes doing this, then after that they'll just want to sleep.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
And if you have more than one, so I've got 4 dogs. I do have a very big tub full of these entertainment toys. I will provide at least 6 of them out in the yard. So one dog is slower. She'll probably stay with hers for the duration. Other dogs are quicker. So once that's finished, there's another one to find. And
okay.
That's cool. That's really fun when they go, I finished this one. I'm going to finish this one really quickly. But I know that there's another one. So don't just give them one, provide them with a couple. And rotate them too, so they don't get the same one every single day. The monotony kicks in and they get really bored of that. We want to be able to give them that diversity and what's coming next.
Okay, so just to recap, so good to keep them mentally stimulated with toys and
Incorporating that training.
incorporating that training as a holistic approach. Just quickly, what is this thing that we've got going on here?
So Switch has decided to lie herself on it like a bed, but it's actually a snuffle mat. Switch, you want to move for me, honey? Thank you.
So what's a snuffle mat?
Snuffle mat is designed with these wonderful long pieces of fleece, and we can pull the bits apart and pop some treats down in there. So I've got some treats here, and we can push them down in the gaps.
It's very soft.
And when we place it down on the ground, the dogs are using their nose like crazy, sniffing, working their brain really, really hard, kicking into that olfactory system. The actual act of sniffing has a calming effect on our dogs.
Oh, okay.
It also works their brain to a different level to just everyday interaction with us. This makes them tired. So if we can give them breakfast, say, on one of these mats, instead of for free in a bowl, where they can eat it in 30 seconds, let's let them work on this for 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even longer, and they'll keep coming back to it and go, maybe I missed a piece.
Okay.
Maybe I missed a piece. I'm going to keep coming back to it and sniff and run my nose sort of all through these little bits.
So when you leave home, you'd leave this and the toys as well?
Generally one or the other.
One or the other. Okay.
And but sometimes you also need to supervise. So if you think your dog's a destructive dog too, we need to be wise and not leave things that your dog will be able to destroy. With our Kongs, there are different grades of the rubber. So we've got the pink. This is designed for puppies. So if we gave this to, for example, like a Staffy, they'll chew that through. There are black ones of theirs that are designed for those power chewers. So we don't want a dog left with a toy that they're going to destruct and potentially ingest as well. But first few times, lay it down with you around so that you can supervise.
Okay, really good point. And just lastly, finishing off, so for the more severe cases of separation anxiety, what would you suggest? Medical advice there, or what would we do in that case?
Yeah, working in conjunction with a vet. A dog with that severe degree of separation anxiety most probably needs to go on anxiety medication to help them take the edge off things and to be able to get through life easy, take each day calmly instead of in that heightened state. And needs to be in conjunction with a trainer. So not just going to the vet and popping them on medication and that's going to be the go-to, but doing it together as a paired program, medication plus training and behaviour work.
Okay, really good advice there. Thank you so much again for your time.
It's been fun.
It has been fun, and these two have been amazing. Guys, again, if you want to get in contact with Julia, please contact
southernCrossAnimalStars.com.au on the internet and Facebook, Southern Cross Animal Stars.
Sounds great. All right, guys, until next time, stay positive.